In today's video, I'm going to show you how to save a ton of money by DIYing your own home decor with Dollar Tree items. Thanks to Misplay for sponsoring today's video. There's so many great items at Dollar Tree that you can pick up and make them look super high end. One of the newest items I found that I'm so excited about is this clear tray. It has this beaded edge to it. It just looks amazing. I ended up buying 2 of these and I thought this would make a perfect tray to sit out in my kitchen. So I bought a glass candle holder from Dollar Tree. This is their most common candle holder, so hopefully you're able to find it at your store. And I'm gonna add some E6000 to the top of the candle holder, and then I'm going to place the tray directly in the center. Now luckily there's a dot in the middle of the tray, so you're able to line it up perfectly. Let this dry overnight and you can put out your favorite treats in your kitchen. When I spotted these vases at Dollar Tree, I knew that I had to pick them up, and I asked you guys in my Fenwick DIY Facebook group what your thoughts were and what you thought we should do with them. You guys gave me some great suggestions. Somebody suggested painting them a dark green color, and I absolutely love this color, and I thought that was the perfect suggestion. Now, if you're not a member of our Facebook group and you love crafting, it's definitely a place you want to be. I share a lot of my craft ideas, and you can post your crafts as well. So I will put the QR code right here if you want to join our Facebook group, or you can just go over to Facebook, type in Liz Fenwick DIY group, ask to join. We'd love to have you. So I took both of these vases outside. I'm going to spray them with a Rust-Oleum dark green spray paint. I will put a layer on the underside, let that dry completely, and then I'll flip them over and do another coat. Because these are ceramic, they may need an additional coat because some of the paint was being soaked up. So if you need to do a third coat, just give them a third coat so they have that nice bold green color. I let these dry and I'll show you how I styled them in my home. On one of my last Dollar Tree shopping trips, I found these bow stickers. And I was just kind of saying that I wasn't loving a lot of the stickers lately out at Dollar Tree. So they had to give us these because they are absolutely adorable. I knew they would be perfect to put on some organization containers to store in my bathroom. So I went over to the organization section and I found these white containers with handles. I contemplated labeling them, but I have a lot of hats right now that I have up in my closet that I knew I needed to organize. So I'm going to be putting all hats in here. So I picked out my favorite bows and I'm going to place those in the same spot on each of the 3 containers. Then I put these into my hutch upstairs in my bathroom and I organized my hats in here. I just love the way these look and they fit perfectly in my hutch. I found a new app that I have to show you, Misplay, and I want to thank Misplay for sponsoring today's video. Misplay is an app that's great to unwind with at the end of a stressful day while also earning points that you can redeem for gift cards. You can download Misplay on iOS or Android, and you can earn rewards by simply discovering and playing mobile games. There's so many fun games to play. One of my favorites is Code Blast. I love playing this game and trying to beat my high score. Royal Marble is also another fun game to play, although I'm not as good at this game. I need to keep getting better. But there's a wide catalog of games to choose from depending on your preference. The more you play, the more you earn, and you can redeem those points for gift cards. Over 100 million in gift cards have already been redeemed. So if you're already going to be playing games on your phone, why not earn points to redeem them for gift cards? I'm going to put the QR code right here so you can scan it and get started playing today. I'll also put a link to Misplay down in the description box below.
You can download the app for free here or use my code LIZF inside the app for 200 extra points.
One of the best new items I found this year at Dollar Tree is this wood tray. Now it is plastic, but I think it looks really realistic. Let me show you how I use it in my home. Another new item I found at Dollar Tree was this acrylic picture sign. And I didn't really like the acrylic words on there, but I loved the base of it with the wood. And I thought this would look like a really good high-end frame. You could put a picture of your family in there. I was thinking that I could add a print in there. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, on one of my thrifting shopping trips, I found this amazing book. I was so excited to pick it up. This book has so many different art prints in there, and they they are colorful, and I've used them in a ton of projects. So I flipped through it and found a print that I wanted to use in my home. I pulled out the paper and then I cut out the print. Now I wanted the print to go on the front of this acrylic because the words were on the back. I couldn't put it on the back. I put it on the acrylic and drew lines to see where exactly I needed to cut it. Now, if any of your lines are not straight, just go back in and try to make your lines as straight as possible. And then once you're happy with it, even if your print is a little bit bigger than the acrylic, that's okay because you're not going to be able to see it. Just make sure your lines are as straight as possible. Next, I added some E6000 to the front of the acrylic. I placed the print down and then I used a scraper just very lightly to push the glue down so it was nice and level. I didn't want any raised areas, but once I did that, I let it dry overnight, and here's how the print turned out. A big trend we're seeing right now at Anthropologie is to have these glass mugs with different fun little objects on there. We've seen bows, we've seen footballs, we're starting to see some for fall. This is just a really popular trend right now, and I thought, let me try to recreate this trend. I bought one of the glass mugs that they have at Dollar Tree. They've had these now for several years. And then I also ordered some ceramic paint pens. I have some glass paints, but they're a little bit runnier and I didn't think they would work as well for this project, but I figured we'd try it out. I had all the colors and I thought I'm gonna do a bow on each side. So I used the black marker, and when I put the bow on, I really wasn't happy with how opaque it was. And I don't know if it's because I was using this marker on glass instead of ceramic. If you guys know why this didn't turn out, just let me know down in the comments if you've done this project before. But I tried to, overlap the marker as much as possible and get as much color on there as I could, but it still looked very opaque. So I made a bow on each side, and I wanted it to have a little bit more color, but I was okay with the way it looked. It did say to make it waterproof on the container to bake it, so I baked it in a 230-degree oven for around 25 minutes. I do think it made it a lot more waterproof so that I can use it and wash it, but I wanted the color to be just a little bit more vibrant. So if you guys have done this project before, let me know what I did wrong and what I could change for next time. Next, we're gonna make a bird feeder. So I bought a teacup and saucer from the thrift store. They have several of these. You may even have some that you could use for this project. And I'm going to put the saucer flat on my table. I want to attach the cup sideways. So to do that, I'm gonna use a combination of E6000, quite a bit, and some hot glue. And I'm gonna put that on the side of the cup. I'll place it so that it's sitting on its side, and I want the top handle to be facing upright. Hold it on until the hot glue has a chance to dry. And then you're gonna let this sit overnight because that E6000 is gonna be your strongest bond and you want that to have time to set up. Next, I need something to hang this up with. So I went to the thrift store, I found this gold necklace, and I'm just gonna be using the necklace part. I removed the charm from the necklace, so I just had the necklace. And this is what I'm gonna use to hang it up. So I'm gonna thread it through my bird feeder. You can attach this gold necklace, hang it up outside, and add in some bird seed, and hopefully you'll get some birds in your backyard. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Comment the word of the day, which is tray. Another home decor item that they have at Dollar Tree is this globe. And honestly, I think this globe looks gorgeous the way it is, but I wanted to give you another option that you could use to style it in your home to make it fit with your home decor. I wanted to paint this kind of a brown color since we're going into that warmer season. I thought about taking the globe piece out, but I think that it's gonna be way easier to paint with it on the globe. You're just gonna have to be careful that you don't get any of the paint on the base. If you're worried about doing that, you could take it out, or you could always tape it up around the base so you don't get paint on it. So I'm gonna use a brush to apply the paint around the edge. And when you go by the top area, just make sure you don't get it on the top piece, but go as close to the top as you can. This did require 2 coats, so I let that dry completely, and then I went back in and added an additional coat. I then wanted to add some stickers. I bought this set of stickers off of Amazon and I will link them for you down below. Plus I will put the QR code here if you're looking for any of the products off of Amazon that I'm showing in today's video. But these stickers came in a big pack. There were so many different options with them, and I found these ones that I felt like had some really cool fall colors. I'm gonna add these stickers to my globe. And when I put the stickers on, they were a little too shiny. I wanted them to fit in better with my globe. So I did a layer of matte Mod Podge over the stickers and my entire globe. I let that dry and I styled it in my home. One of my favorite containers they have at Dollar Tree are these small little acrylic containers with the lids. Now this year they have them with the silver metallic lids, and that doesn't really fit in with my color scheme. And a lot of times when you get them, the lids are scratched up, so you're gonna have to paint them anyways. So I went ahead and got 3 of them, and then I painted them with that same gold metallic color that we've been using. Now these little containers are great for Q-tips, cotton balls, those small items that you like to sit out in your bathroom. I've been really into blue and white decor this spring, and when I saw this vase by Magnolia, I thought this is something I could recreate with Dollar Tree items. Over in the party section at Dollar Tree, they have these clear acrylic containers with a scalloped edge. So you're gonna need one of those to create this vase. Next, I'm going to spray it white because you need a base color for our next step. Once your vase is completely dry, I'm gonna add a tissue paper on top. Now this tissue paper I picked up online on Amazon, but you could use any tissue paper you have on hand. I'm gonna add some matte Mod Podge around my vase. And then I'll place the tissue paper onto my vase, making it as straight as possible. You wanna make sure you have a little bit hanging over the bottom and the top. I'll continue to add Mod Podge and wrap the tissue paper around until I have it completely covered. Now with the bottom edge, I'm going to put a little bit of Mod Podge on the tissue paper and I'll tuck it underneath. For the top, what I like to do with this area is just tear it off very gently so that you don't break the tissue paper on your vase. But this is a great way to finish off that top edge. Now, one of my tricks whenever you're adding Mod Podge to an item is you wanna let it sit for at least 4 to maybe 6 hours before you put on your top layer. You wanna make sure that bottom layer is completely dry. Then you're gonna add on a top layer of Mod Podge. Once that dries, you can put it out in your home. Ever wonder the best way to store your electric toothbrush? I really like these acrylic containers they have out at Dollar Tree. Now I wanted to make the container fit in with my room a little bit better, so I have this wood strip that I picked up online. I will link it for you down below, but I'm going to cut a strip that will fit around the bottom of my container. Next, I'm going to stain it with the color Early American. I'll just put the stain onto each side of my wood piece, and then I will wipe off the excess. I did do both of the sides with stain because you're gonna be able to see it whenever you wrap it around your container. Now, before you add any glue, you wanna let this dry completely. Next, I'm gonna add some E6000 to one side of my wood piece. I did cut the wood piece down so it just overlapped maybe an inch or 2. And then I'm going to wrap it around the bottom half of my acrylic container. Now, because E6000 takes a while to set up, you're gonna have to put some painter's tape onto this piece just to give it time to dry. Let it dry overnight, then you can pull off the tape. If you have any excess glue, just use some Dawn dish soap to remove it. I will put a link to the toothbrush down in the description box. When I saw this tray on Pottery Barn's website, I knew that we could recreate this. Usually at Dollar Tree, they will have some wood trays. When we went this time, we weren't able to find them, but a lot of times you can. I had to get my tray at Hobby Lobby. So I found this wood tray. Hobby Lobby usually has some different trays out fairly inexpensively. I was going to make it look as much like that Pottery Barn tray as I could. So I started with a pretty blue color and I painted that on the inside of this tray, doing 2 coats. And I was careful to not put it around the edge. Once the blue dried, I came back in with a white color and added that to the sides of the tray as well as that top edge. Now with this tray, you're probably gonna have to do 2 coats of paint for the blue and the white. Now let that dry completely. Another thing you want to pick up at Dollar Tree are these paper doilies. I thought those would look perfect sitting in this tray. So I put the doilies into the tray and kind of creased them to see, how they would lay in there, because on the Pottery Barn one, there's doilies on either side. Then I roughly cut it out and then placed it back in. From there, I just cut a little bit more so that I could get it as close to the edge as possible. Now, the cool thing about these doilies is they're all stuck together. So I actually had 2 or 3 of the doilies that I was cutting at the same time. So I pulled one of those out and placed it on the other side. To attach these to your tray, you're going to add a layer of Mod Podge on the bottom of your entire tray. Place the doilies on top, and then you can add another layer of Mod Podge over the top. I think this tray looks great, and I think it turned out as a great dupe. Let me show you how you could make a curtain tie with just some shower rings from Dollar Tree and twine that you probably have in your craft room. So take a Dollar Tree shower ring and you're going to wrap a layer of twine around there. I'm using my cream macrame. So I'm gonna start at one edge, hot glue it in place and wrap it around. I like to hot glue probably every 3 or 4 wraps just to make sure it's nice and secure. So you're going to completely cover your entire shower ring. Next, you're going to need another twine. I'm gonna be using a thicker nautical rope. So this is nautical rope you can get at Dollar Tree. I'm gonna cut off a long piece, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start with the loop in my shower ring, and then I'll feed both ends of the nautical rope through that loop and pull tight. Now to secure it in place, I'm gonna use that cream twine, hot glue it on the back, wrap it around probably 7 or 8 times. And then I'll hot glue it in the back and cut off any excess. Now you're gonna have to determine how long you want this to be. And then at the other end, I'm going to wrap it again with that cream twine, hot gluing it on one side, wrapping it around and hot gluing it at the end. Cut both of the nautical rope ends to the same length. Now the final step I'm gonna do is just fray out those edges. And then you can wrap this around any of your curtains to hold them in place. Let me show you a really cool organizing hack. Pick up a few of these clear acrylic organizers the next time you're at Dollar Tree. For this hack, we're just going to use the outer portion of this clear container. So remove all of the labels and take out the drawers. Next, I'm going to line the inside with some paper that I bought off of Amazon. I measured how wide I wanted the paper to be with a pencil and then cut it out and placed it into my drawer. I used the same paper as a template to do the other 2 containers. I'll cut those out and place them into the drawer. To hold them in place, I'll add E6000 to the 4 corners of all the paper. Add command strips to the back, and you can hang these onto your wall or your shelf for additional storage in your bathroom. Anthropologie has these really cool jewelry dishes on their website. They may even be candle holders, but I thought it was neat enough that I wanted to try to recreate it. So I bought one of these clear candle holders at Dollar Tree. You've probably seen them before. They've had them out for years. I also got some gold leaf. Now, sometimes you can find gold leaf in the craft section, but I wasn't able to find it, so I did order mine. I'll link to it below. So I started this project by just adding some matte Mod Podge with a foam brush on my entire clear dish. Then I just took that gold leaf and added it to almost like 1/3 of it. And with gold leaf, you just want to press it down and it'll hold in place. Once that dried completely, I did come back and do a second coat of the Mod Podge, putting it on the clear side first, and then I covered over the gold leaf. Once it dries completely, you can use this as a dish to hold your jewelry. I just love creating little dishes like this. I'm always looking for fun ways to organize my craft room items. Let's try to put together a craft room organization with these bowls from Dollar Tree. These are over in the plastic section, so just take them out of the packaging. So we're going to need at least 2 packages. I'm going to use a combination of E6000 and hot glue. The E6000 is going to help it hold so much longer, but the hot glue will give me that instant bond. So I'm going to put E6000 and hot glue on one side, and then I'm going to place one of the containers directly next to it. Just hold them in place. I'm going to continue to add on hot glue and E6000. And then again, I'll place down a container and make sure they're just level at the top. So you could add as many to this as you like. I'm just gonna add 6. And I'm gonna put some of my craft items in here. This leaf tray is so pretty. I couldn't believe that it was just $1.25. So I went ahead and picked it up. And when I saw this, my immediate thought was, this needs to be gold. So it was kind of cold at my house, but we had a warm day. So I was able to take it outside and spray paint it with a metallic gold color. So I spray painted the back side and the top of this piece. Once it was dry, I brought it back in and it was gold. I wanted it to have a little dimension, so I'm using 3 different shades of gold Rub and Buff. You can buy this in a pack off of Amazon and I will link to it below. But I put those out on my table and got a foam brush. And then I just lightly put the gold Rub and Buff over this. There was a lot of raised areas on there, so I could add that texture with the gold Rub and Buff. And that's really all I did, but all the different golds I think work well together. And I think this looks so pretty sitting out on a sideboard or your coffee table, and you would never guess it was $1.25. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite DIY was. I love knowing your opinion. And make sure you subscribe because I want to see you back here, and I'll see you in our next one. Bye.